Hello, I am Justin D. Schaumburg, a public administration student in URPA 5345, Evaluation Research and Policy Analysis. My project was the evaluability assessment on transportation services for HAND, helping the aging, needing, and disabled of Austin nonprofit organization. My evaluation research question was, the Hand of Austin nonprofit organization helps neighbors with disabilities by delivering much-needed services to them, such as home and health care services, rideshare services, and basic needs services. My evaluation project focused on a certain section, transportation services of the overall program, to better convey the function and effectiveness of that subsystem to the overall organization's goals and ambitions. Some methodologies used in the report were quantitative methods of analyzing secondary financial data from HAND, secondary data to produce graph analysis from demographic and rideshare statistics, and a primary source of data for a staff survey questionnaire. Some primary qualitative methods, as described in the report, revolved around financial meetings with the organization's managers and directors and overall observations of the transportation services program. Data found. Being an accounting coordinator with the University of Texas School of Law, I found inconsistencies in the secondary data, so I worked with Corey Johnson, the transportation services coordinator, to mitigate some of those errors and to produce better Excel spreadsheets so that the data can give us pivot tables, in-depth graphs, etc. The data supported a significant outcome of ride shares for HAND clients. But as I will discuss in my recommendations, there's definitely some things that the organization can work on, especially in the financial realm. Findings and conclusions. I found that the entire organization was under a reorganization due to people either quitting or being laid off, and thus that was why the 2015 financials were only half completed, as I stated numerous times in my report. On top of that, their financial consultant brought in to fix this problem put in her 2 weeks' notice last week. Therefore, my recommendation would need to be succinct and concise in order to help this program succeed at the HAND organization. My recommendations. They need to conduct a client survey to see if they are meeting the needs of their clientele and to see how their clients are using the service. I didn't want to rush this process given non-response bias and the time to implement a survey of that magnitude based on how short the class was. They need to be self-reliant and self-sustaining. From 2014 to 2015, their biggest grant to St. David's Hospital went from $75,000 to $45,000, a net loss of $30,000 year over year. So they need to think about what if that grant ceases to exist and to start thinking about new revenue streams, like other grants and or contracts in case this grant falls through. I have recommended for them to find a business partner as well with someone that does similar work in Austin. So maybe partnering up with Uber Access, which gives rides at a significant discount to their clientele so that they can secure some other means of financial independence. A SWOT analysis, a strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats analysis of the transportation services program would be good for the organization so that they can better plan for the future of that program. A SWOT analysis of the transportation services program would be good for the organization so that they can start to understand the threats. The financial threat alone would be something that in my organization we would understand that needs to be solved, and I think they were getting to that point, but due to their consultant leaving and not being able to produce the 2015 financials, that is a go-to. They must fix that problem sooner than later. And as far as the incomplete financials go for 2015, I advise them to secure those financials and to implement financial vulnerability assessment and financial forecasting for the transportation services program so that they can start to understand the viability of that program, not just for the past year, but for the current year, 2016 and beyond, 2017, 2018, etc. Once all of these recommendations are thoroughly thought over and implemented by the organization, they should also do a pros and cons list of the expansion into Hays County. Then and only then would I recommend that the expansion take place into neighboring counties. No one would want to expand into a county not knowing their financial state, because what if they expanded not knowing and then they had trouble and they needed to pull out and those clients are then stuck without their service. Thank you so much. I'm Justin D. Schaumburg with URPA 5345's class, and I thank you for your time.